Good evening and welcome to the Indie Voice Show, where artists can listen, learn, and grow with knowledge empowering success. And now, here is your host, singer, songwriter, entrepreneur, Miss Wendy Hicks.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Put your hands up. Put your hands up. Hello, and welcome to the Indie Voice Show. I am so excited to be here and to finally meet Mr. Harvey Morris from New York City. How you doing?
I'm great. I'm blessed.
Oh, Thank you. I might even go. I'm not even going to front. I mean, this is a big deal. I don't get many people coming to visit me from, across the lines too much.
Well, girl, you famous.
Oh well, I appreciate that. So today's show, my special guest and co-host is Harvey Morris. He is an Emmy Award winner, actor, music producer, singer, and songwriter, to name a few. And we'll get to learn a little bit more about who he is, what he does, and what he's done in a few minutes. But he has created music and co-produced tracks for a major retail chain and PBS. Learn how he was afforded opportunities to create music across many entertainment genres and gain industry advice and hear firsthand about the power of networking. So that's what we're going to go over today.
Yes.
It's a lot to go over.
Girl, hey, I'm a big man, a lot.
And to top it off, we get to see some live performances.
Yes.
So I'm really excited. And so some of the things that we typically do on the show, we're going to kind of cut back because I want to make sure we have enough time to hear the performances and gain as much information that you can share as possible.
Okay.
One of the things, though, that we do on the show is we have a segment called Artist Quick Tip. I am an affiliate of the Indie Bible, which is an online publication. I don't know if you've ever heard of it or seen it.
I'm part of Indie Bible.
You are?
Yes, I am.
Great. Here's my bell. We got the shout out bell here. Shout out. So
Yes.
So they have really interesting articles on different things ranging from marketing to the legal aspect of music, all components of the business of music. And so I try to pull articles that I think that would be helpful. All of them are helpful or beneficial depending on where you are, but things that really kind of hit home for me.
Yes.
So one of the articles that I found this morning is called Inside the Head of a Music Reviewer. And I'm not going to read verbatim what the article says, but we'll kind of talk about it. I don't know, and we'll get more into, some of your strategies. But one of the things that I'm learning when you're marketing and you are developing your brand, especially when it comes to, like with music, you want to get people to blog and write about your project.
Yes.
And one, it helps for you to gain exposure outside of your area. I know a lot of folks from here, they want to know, well, what can I do to get outside of the DC metro area? I mean, I'm very well known here, but what can I do to start, performing in other cities? And one of the things that's important is to get, reviewers, people to start critiquing and reviewing your music.
Yes.
So, have you ever done that? Have you submitted music to be reviewed?
Yes, actually, I've submitted music to be reviewed. But funny enough, as much as I've done it, it's like a cold approach. Mm-hmm. I have found that what works for me, and that's the other thing. We have to make sure. We have to make sure that we do what works for us.
Right.
There's that process when you explore the different avenues and you find what works for you best.
Right.
And I found that what works for me is relationships.
Absolutely.
Meeting people and then talking with them. And then, once you do that, they get a chance to experience you.
Right.
And then it's like, I want to give you a shot, give you an opportunity.
But are we talking about in terms of finding people to review your music, or are we talking about networking?
I'm talking about networking.
Okay, well, we're going to definitely get into that.
Yes. But as far as reviewing my music, yes, actually, I've been a part of this company called Airplay. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you're familiar with Airplay.
Heard of it.
I find that I do those kind of things as well, go on Airplay. The Indie Bible. They tell you the DIY, because I'm a part of CD Baby.
Right.
And CD Baby has a really great program and a lot of information that is helpful to getting your music reviewed, just overall heard.
Right.
Airplay is great. I use that and I recommend it.
Okay.
So hopefully I answered your question.
Yes, you did, and you'll be able to provide some input because again, you were saying that what works for one person may not necessarily work for the other. And one of the things that I thought was really cool about this article is that they ask a question to different reviewers and they find out what it is they're looking for. Now, I didn't copy all of the questions. I just copied some questions that I thought would be pretty interesting or appropriate for people watching for the sake of time.
Yes.
So the article starts, it says, inside the head of a music reviewer. And it says, you want to know what to send, when to follow up, what to say. Should you keep bugging a writer to review your material? What makes writers choose one CD over another to review? And most of all, can you increase your chances of getting a published review when you submit a CD? So again, I took some questions and I thought it was really interesting. This is from a panel of folks from indiemusic.com.
Yes.
And again, this was taken from Indie Bible. So one of the questions was, what impresses you about an artist, musician, or band? Now, again, I'm not going to read verbatim, but the first person responded that the biggest impression is always the music and the talent in the songwriting. And one of the things that caught me about this particular response, she goes on to say, sometimes it's not, the production might not be 100%, but I'm looking for the music and the songwriting. Right. Now, for me, I come from the school of your first impression is the lasting impression, right?
Yes,
and you want to make sure that whatever you submit is of the best and highest quality.
Yes.
So again, it kind of goes back to everyone has their own view, and everybody, have different ways that things that strike them the most. So that struck out with her. So she's saying it's more of the message and the music, the songwriting. Another person responded, there is no one thing. She's been impressed by different things.
Yes.
She says she's impressed when she hears a musician doing something new that's never been heard before.
Yes.
Or when she hears a poetic folk song that expresses something so true and she feels it tugging at her heart. So if it's, something that's relatable. So again, and she's saying that it doesn't matter the genre of music, or she's not really looking at the press kit and the whole marketing package, but it's how the music touched her or touches her, right? So that was another response. And then one person wrote, real talent in at least one area, and especially when all those elements come together. He said also if they've got their stuff together, like correspond in timely manner, not pushy about reviews, answer questions coherently, and communicate well, then that person you can reach out and write.
Yes.
So another question was, how can bands or musicians improve their submissions, which is important. You want to know how you can connect with these reviewers. So one person responded, solicit your submissions for review. Quality is key. You're looking for someone to thoughtfully review your material, to respect it and cultivate new contacts for publicity. Do what you can presently afford, and the rest will fall into place. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that.
well, see, it's interesting because submitting your music, it's almost like you have to know the people you're submitting to.
Absolutely. That's good you said that, because that's one of the points in the article. Absolutely.
Yes, yeah, and because, submitting music or soliciting your music is like being a salesperson. You can't sell the same product to everybody the same way. It's interesting. You can sell the same product to everybody,
right?
But different words, different approaches motivates people in different ways. And so I think that before you send out a project, it is absolutely conducive that you do your research as to whom you're sending this music to and what they're looking for, what they're like, because you have like my project, I have 10 songs on there, and I believe they all sound different. Okay, so one artist may be looking for something old school, so I have something for the old school artist. Not artist,
reviewer.
Reviewer. another reviewer may look for, something more contemporary.
Right.
So I'm not going to send something old school to someone who's looking for something contemporary, and I'm not going to send something contemporary for someone who's looking for something old school.
So you say you found that, like, with reviewers, they have, some of them specialize in different genres.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. See, I never thought of that. That's a good point.
Yes. I mean, it's so important that we understand. It's like being an entertainer. When you're an entertainer, you have to know your room. You have to read the room.
Right.
Because based on how you read the room will determine how effective you are within that room. If you around people who like soft, then you start off with soft and you work them into what you do. But if folks who they looking for you to come in hard and you starting off soft, they're like, oh my
losing
goodness.
them, you done lost them.
You done lost them before you even started.
Right.
So it's knowing your audience. Know your reviewer.
Know your reviewer. Okay, that's a good point.
Yes.
And again, that is mentioned. See, you're right on track. So this third person said, now this article was written in 2017, and folks are still using CDs. We're kind of moving into more so into thumb drives or digital, but this person says, please unwrap your CDs, send quality materials that won't fall apart. Again, send good quality CDs. So again, everyone has their own perspective, but it's just interesting to hear the different perspectives, right?
Yes.
And then the last question that I thought was interesting: what do you most enjoy about reviewing indie music? These are from the reviewers. So, and I'm not going to read all the responses, but one of the things, and I was talking to Kevin about this. We hear this overarching message of being authentic.
Yes.
You must be authentic, and I know I'm always looking over there, but yes, be authentic, and so and that all and it goes into being able to connect, to maybe not everyone, but somebody is going to walk away with your message, and sometimes that message is meant for that one person.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And see, I don't mean to cut you off, but
No.
I have to say this. It's interesting. When we go and try to chase the carrot, we constantly will chase that carrot. It is not until we get and find our niche,
Right,
that we actually become successful. I went to a concert one time. I got the opportunity. I used to play actually with Freddie Jackson, but there was Freddie Jackson, Peabo Bryson, Howard Hewitt, and Jeffrey Osborne. 4 different gentlemen, 4 different sounds.
right.
Now, and what's interesting is that in today's industry, it's just like everyone is looking to sound like someone else, and so even when you are authentic about your sound, they want you to sound similar to something that they can identify with. Now, that's very interesting because it makes me question how well do we listen as consumers? Because quite often we are programmed, we're fed, and we eat what's being fed to us.
Right, marketing.
Yes, I mean, yes, but a little bit more. It's a little bit more. It's like, sometimes people have a direction they want you to go in, and they feed you this direction. Yes, it's marketing. In the same sense, when someone does come in that's authentic, that is really authentic and really different, it's like,
They don't know how to handle it.
yeah, right.
But that's the beauty of being an independent artist, though. You're not pigeonholed by
Right.
what they want you to be.
Right.
So,
But
which
see,
is a
not-
great thing.
Yes, however, sometimes when you come in and they like what you do
Right.
initially, and then every now and then you get, maybe you should do a song like this person. So I'm learning that in order to keep your authenticity, you almost have to be everything. You have to be the record company, the producer, the kind of run your whole business.
Absolutely.
So thank you. Yes.
Okay. So yeah, this article, again, there are more questions. One of the questions, what most irritates you in writing reviews. So this will kind of give you an idea of what not to do Again, it's not the end all be all response, but again, it kind of puts you in the mind of a reviewer and understand what it is that they're looking for, so that you at least are presenting them with some information or with a product that they're openly willing to review.
I'm sorry for laughing, but the reason why I'm laughing is because I have one of those stories. Well, I'm gonna tell you real quick. I'm not. There's a radio personality, and
who shall remain nameless.
Who shall remain nameless.
Okay.
But I just want to tell you the experience.
Okay.
So there was this radio personality, and I submitted their music. I submitted my music to them, and after I submitted the music, I didn't hear from them. So, I'm going like, okay, did you get it? So the first question was, did you get it? And, they didn't respond. So they had this particular, they were doing this particular internet show, and in the internet show, there were, people leaving comments. So I'm truly being genuine, like, did you get the project?
Right.
And their response was, hey, don't do that. Not on this page. That's not what we want. I'll let you know. And it was like, I was like, right. Woo! And my last response was, I apologize.
Right.
And that's when I realized sometimes we can go a little too hard, or we have to find another way. That was one of the cases where I didn't read my audience. So I didn't.
That's good feedback.
Yes.
And so there's a quick checklist, a review checklist. Communicate professionally.
Yes.
Follow the submission guidelines.
Yes.
Send a cohesive promo pack.
Yes.
Number 4, give contact information. Identify your genre.
Yes.
Write a meaningful bio.
Yes.
Make the writer's job easy. So, to expand more on that, since writers are at the basic level just people doing their job, it only makes sense that if you can make their job easier, they will like you and try to return the favor. So include everything the writer needs, be sensitive to their schedule, and provide graphics or answers to any questions promptly.
Yes.
Follow up courteously. Don't argue with the reviewer.
Yes.
Keep the connection. So it's important to, so keep that connection. And are you familiar with the magazine Music Connection?
Actually, no, I'm not.
I meant to bring it. I left it. I'm going to bring it next week. But that has a wealth of information in it. They will review your music, so you can submit your music to them. Okay. But they also have directories. Like if you're looking for legal advice, they have a directory in there for that. A lot of music industry contacts are in that magazine, and you can either receive a hard copy or you can get a digital copy.
Okay, that's awesome.
So that's a great resource. And I apologize, I meant to bring it, but
And that was Music Connection.
Yes.
Okay,
and
awesome.
Yes. And I'll send you the link. Just don't let me forget.
I won't let you forget.
You don't know me that well,
Girl,
but I'm sure you already know.
I'm not gonna let you forget.
But look, but you probably already know my mind is but a snap long sometimes.
That's all right. Sometimes. But you know what? That's interesting that you should say that, because reviewers' minds are sometimes but a snap long.
Right.
And that's all you have is a snap. So, my suggestion is when you're making your presentation, use the ABCs.
What is that?
And that is being accurate, brief, and concise.
Nice. I like that. Great advice. Good way to end that segment. So hopefully you guys watching found some very helpful information. Again, those of you that have material that you are about to submit or about to release, make sure you get it reviewed. Get folks talking about it. That's a great way. All right. So we're going to, instead of taking a break, we're going to go to the Have You Heard segment. And this is the segment where I introduce artists visually, because this is a visual show. I like to show videos. Yes. So
what am I listening for?
So now we are going to showcase your video.
My video?
Yes, Harvey Morris and the House of Praise presents the video Everybody, and it's a really cool video.
Oh, I like that one too. You know what I'm saying?
So you guys that are watching on Facebook Live, tune in to listenvisionlive.com. We're getting ready to play the video right now.
listenvisionlive.com, yo.
Everybody.
Boom, 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 boom.
side. I trust in the Lord and lean on His understanding and living in His kingdom. Happy is the man who finds wisdom and frees himself from spiritual prison. So wisdom is the principal thing. Get wisdom in all you're getting. Get understanding, it's all done. She will bring you honor when you embrace. Take out the time to free your mind. Don't be so blind. Why don't you shine? Walk in the light. Fight the good fight. Take up the crown. Lady Gaga. Everybody, 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 everybody. Now move your feet, move your feet, move your feet, move your feet. Now move your feet, move your feet, move your feet, move your feet. I'm praising the Lord in the sanctuary. Lift them on high and I hope that you hear me. Get with my people, let's meet in the prayer. Meet prison for his acts that are showing up mighty. Sing a new song to the Lord, let's praise Him. Dance to the Lord, let's shout. You're amazing. Let the saints be joyful in His glory. And when you're saved, you can tell your story. Shout, shout to the Lord with triumph. Praise Him on the loud side, the cymbals. Praise Him with the sound of the trumpet. Love Him with all your heart. Faith without works is dead. Give thanks for the Lord is good. And it will be given to you because praising the Lord is what we love to do. Everybody, 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 everybody. Now praise the Lord, praise the Lord, praise the Lord, praise the Lord. Now praise the Lord, praise the Lord, praise the Lord, praise the Lord. I'm thankful for what you give me and the way that you got me living. With your grace and your mercy and your power and your might and the love that you never stop giving. Heaven and earth will pass away, but your word will always stay. No matter how I've been down, you always seem to make a way. Everybody, 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 everybody. Now praise the Lord, praise the Lord, praise the Lord, praise the Lord. Now praise the Lord, praise the Lord, praise the Lord, praise the Lord. Get your praise on, get your praise, get your praise on, praise on, get your praise on, get your praise, get your praise on, get in, get your praise on, get your praise, get your praise on, praise on, get your praise on, get in, get your praise on, praise. Everybody, 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 everybody. Now get your praise on, get your praise, get your praise on, praise on, get your praise on, get your praise, get your praise on, get in, get your praise on, get your praise, get your praise on, praise on, get your praise on, get in, get your praise on, praise. Everybody, 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 everybody. Now clap your hands, stomp your feet, shake your hips and bob your head.
And we're back. I love that.
Thank you.
So before we talk more about, who you are and what you've done, you shared with me during the video, what was your motivation behind it? What is the message the overarching message that you want to give to those listening, not just in the video, but in your music?
Okay, well, first, everything was inspired by God.
Mm-hmm.
God has a name. I call him Yahweh. Mm-hmm. And Yahweh had given me what to write. I got to tell you about this song. This song started out, I work with children. Mm-hmm. And we used to play Simon Says on the bus. And then one day, God said, just say everybody. So I started going, everybody. Now clap your hands. And the kids started clapping their hands. I said, stomp your feet. And they started stomping their feet. And then I said, now just move around. And they started moving. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to make a song. Mm-hmm. And then the Spirit of God just started giving me lyrics. Because at first, it started out just being just like a really, like a house tune.
Right.
And God said, no, this is what I want you to do.
Right.
And so
I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Oh, and what I was saying about the messages, in our music, in Tough Stuff Productions, the objective of Tough Stuff Productions, positive music for positive people. Mm-hmm. And the objective is to always keep the music positive and focused. Mm-hmm. And with my company, I don't want it to be where, you have those parental, you won't even have that in gospel, but when you're doing inspirational, sometimes you have those, explicit lyrics and stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to do that. Not with Tough Stuff Productions. Tough Stuff Productions, positive music, positive people, family friendly. So mama, grandmama, kids, granddaddy, everybody can sit down and listen and have a conversation and party at the same time.
All right.
See?
I like that.
Thank
I
you.
like that. So do you have I'm getting into the interview already. This question before we do the quick bio read, who you are and what you've done. So do you have other artists on your label?
Yes. Actually, I brought one of my artists with me. Her name is Miss Sheba Jordan.
All right, Miss Sheba Jordan. Shout out. Okay.
Yes, and actually we're working on some great music together right now. We have a song called Show Me the Way that we'll be releasing soon. And actually there's a song called Thank You. She happens to be in this music video. We shot 2 videos, and we're in the process of shooting a third. And she's on the remake of Thank You, and a lot of our friends. And it's just it's a really great video. But I can't tell you about it. You just have to see it.
Gotta see it. But you know, and the reason I asked that question is because I'm very passionate too about, you know, as far as the positive influence that on the next generation of artists.
Yes.
We want to, you know, make sure, well, not make sure, but we want to be a part of, you know, getting music back to that feel-good music that we grew up listening to, that was attached to a special memory and it wasn't attached to, you know, the thug life and, you know, hoes and drugs and all, you know.
But I gotta tell you something about that, and I don't want to go.
And
deep.
we're not knocking
deep,
what you do, but
okay, listen,
right.
I'm gonna go deep for a second. Early on, when I was about, I want to say 17, 18, I had an opportunity to get a record deal. Because I always rap and stuff like that. I'll kick some of my lyrics for you in a minute.
Okay.
But the thing was, what they asked of me, they liked my stuff, but what they asked of me, I just wasn't willing to do. You know, because it was during the time of the gangster rap. I wasn't doing it.
Right.
And I had to make a choice. You can come get this money, or you can send the right message.
Right.
And so what I did was, I chose to send the right message. I'm not doing that. We have to take a stand. And the only way we can take a stand is by establishing our own companies, because as long as we chase the carrot, people will determine and tell us, people not even that who we are.
Right.
With all due respect, you know, but there are people who are not even who we are, will try to tell you how your music should go. And in the process, it's not about really meeting the agenda of the music. It's about meeting their agenda. And then we have to ask ourselves, what does this person or what does this company represent?
Right.
And what is it that they're asking me to represent? Well, I know for me, I'd rather do my own thing. And if it takes me a lot longer, it's okay.
It's okay. It's not a race.
It's not, listen, the race is not given to the swift or the strong, but the one who endureth unto the end.
All right.
Amen.
All right. Amen. So, okay,
Hallelujah.
before we go any further into the interview questions, because I know people are like, okay, who is Harvey Morris?
Oh, I'm a child of the Most High. And I like to have fun.
Yes, yes.
And you know what? I worship Yahweh. And people will hear me say Yahweh because God is a title. That's not a name. You know. By the way, did you know that before the year of 1524, the letter J did not exist in the English?
I did not.
Well, you know, the person that we call Jesus and God, Jehovah, what were their names before the letter J?
Right.
Well, how about this? Did you know that J sound was actually the Y? And so when you hear me say Yahweh, that is because that's God's name. And Jesus' name was actually Yeshua.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with the Y. See, a lot of times we don't know that. And the reason why I say that is all the time we study the word, but the word requires that we rightly divide the word. Now, as children of God, children of the Most High, when we are worshiping, it says, you know, if my people call me by my name and turn from their wicked ways, I will heal their land, right? Well, if you don't know who Yahweh's name is, if you don't know who your God's name is, how could you possibly call him? And if you can't call him, how could you get your power?
Right.
So maybe that's one of the reasons why we keep getting the same stuff, because we've been calling the wrong names.
Right. Preach now.
I'm just saying. So listen. By the way, I do teach Bible class too. That's who Harvey Morris is. I'm just telling you right now. And my listen, our Bible class,
Right.
we have discussions like this.
Right.
But there's a reason, because it's time for us to wake up.
Absolutely. And there is a reason that we're having this conversation, and a reason that I'm not going straight according to the script, because I feel that sometimes you got to kind of go with the flow, and there's a reason for this message. So, we just going with the flow.
Let's go with it, baby. I
Going
can flow.
with the flow.
You want me to flow
Go
something for y'all?
with the
Flow.
flow.
You know, listen.
You're going to go with the flow in a second. But listen, okay, for those of you who want to know who Harvey Morris is, I just did some high-level bullet points. So the fire of music ignited in you at the age of 2 when your parents bought your first drum set?
Yeah.
Because you kept banging on pots and pans, and they said, okay, we got to cut this out.
Well, see, I was banging on pots and pans first. That was before 2. See, my mama got tired at 2.
Shout out to my...
She got tired at 2.
Uh-huh.
But I was doing that thing, and she bought me my first drum set when I was 2. But I remember at my grandmother's house, actually there's a song on the CD called I'm saying thank you. There you go. That's it right there. This tune reminds me of you. But so and this tune reminds me of you. It's paying homage to my grandparents.
Nice.
And we have to always remember who we are.
Absolutely. Where you came from.
Yes, and part of our culture is to pay attention to our ancestors,
right?
Our forefathers, because we stand on the shoulders
of others,
of our forefathers and mothers.
That's right.
And we also have to give them praise. Now, when we fail to do that, what we do when we forget, what they say, when you forget, history repeats itself. And unfortunately,
I never heard that, but okay.
Oh yeah, when we forget who we are, then we repeat the mistakes, and we live in those mistakes continuously. It's time to wake up.
Right.
We can't live in those mistakes. Right. So anyway, going back to what I'm saying, paying homage, love, growing up. I used to love the Four Tops. I don't want to date myself, but Four Tops, Jackson.
Well, you're speaking to the right. You're speaking to the right genre, not generation.
Temptation, you know what I'm saying?
You're speaking to the right generation.
And listen, I know you want to leave.
Yes.
But I refuse to let you. Now, who else Harvey Morris is? I'm very diverse, and I listen to a lot of different things. I listen to a lot of music, and when you hear my music, you're going to hear that, it's a lot of different influences. It's okay to be different.
It is.
I'm not trying to be anybody else.
Well, that's the thing. You want to be different.
Yes.
You want to be different. You don't want to be like everybody else, a replica of someone else.
Well, interesting you should say that too, because I also happen to work in school with middle school kids, and it's unfortunate that some of our young people think that if you're not like them, then that makes you the enemy. And I've seen some really wonderful young people, smart young people, because they were different. That's not okay. And
right.
I want to tell my young people, hey, get it together, and it's okay to be you. Learn to love you.
Learn. That's right.
Learn to love you and respect you and honor you. And guess what? Then you will learn to love and respect other people.
That's right.
And then we can have wonderful conversations like this.
That's right. That's right. So now, speaking of the youth, at a very young age, in your bio, it says that you recorded your first commercial for American Airlines at 12.
Yeah, that's right.
So how did that come about?
Well, that's because of relationship. I'm trying to tell you right now. I was playing at church. I was playing percussion for this gentleman by the name of Leon Tubman in my choir. I started out singing in the choir because I told you,
right.
And then I started playing bongos and everything. And then I was, you like it? And so what ended up happening was he asked me to come and be a part of his group, which was called Our Mother's Children. And then, I don't know if we can do this, but I don't know, back in the day, back in the day, we had this jingle, we go, for American Airlines. It goes, when you got some place to go and you gotta get there fast, you need to be the first to know you can't afford to be the last. Well, now you need a friend to count on to help you on your way. You want to ride in comfort, so call on us today.
Oh,
Cause we're American Airlines. I remember that. We're far above the rest. We're American Airlines, doing what we do best.
I remember that, doing what we do best. So you did that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. See, I was back in the day.
Right.
Yeah.
See? And you know what's interesting, and hopefully those of you that are watching and that stay connected via Facebook Live or watching the show, you will start to see the common theme, and one of them, a very obvious one, is the importance of your network and the people that that help get you in different places.
So you can be on your phone sometimes because you connect with folks, but then you got to get in front of folks.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
You have to have conversations, And this is the thing that some of our new age young people, everybody's in their phones, and so not sensitive to each other.
Right.
And that becomes challenging. I mean, because it's great, to be able to say and do what you do on the phone. But when it comes down, we don't want to become social misfits.
Right.
When it comes to interacting with each other. Right. Because at the end of the day, we need each other.
So what can typically be so powerful with social media and with technology can also be stifling.
Yes.
So you really have to make sure that you balance and pay attention.
Yes. Well, that's how I ended up in DC coming to see you. I use social media to connect with you.
The power of social media.
Now we here.
And here we are. See?
That's it.
See? Okay. And that's true.
Yes.
Now, you shared the stage with folks like Main Ingredients.
Yes.
You mentioned Freddie Jackson,
Yes.
Cameo, Roy Ayers,
Yes.
Stevie Wonder, Taylor Dane,
Yes.
Bobby Humphrey, Melba Moore. The list goes on and
These
on.
are all the people that I'm a drummer. Because we talked about drummers.
Right.
Drummer by trade. So I had the opportunity of playing for all of those people.
Wow.
That I mentioned.
So now these came through industry connects, or like from playing for one person, then it kind of led you to another person, and so on and so on.
It led to another, and actually, you know how I started playing with Cuba? I actually was in the barbershop getting my hair cut, and I met his son.
Oh wow!
And from there, we had conversations. We played together, and then he asked me to come play with his dad. Well, that was like 30 years ago. And I have the privilege of playing with Cuba for like 20 years. I also got a chance to play with GQ because of that relationship.
Right.
Because of the networking scene in New York, I also got an opportunity to play with Cameo, and that's another interesting story. All again, relationships. One of his sons asked me to put my band together, and that's actually how my band, Deep Cover Groove, I have an R&B band too.
Okay.
Deep Cover Groove, and it was so funny. He said, so yeah, man, we want to do this get together. I'm like, sure, let's do the get together. And he said, what's the name of the band? And I said, Deep Cover. And that's been the name of the band ever since.
Wow.
I'm trying.
Wow.
I get you that.
See.
And,
so I was going to ask you, like, in terms of your project, Harvey Morris and the House of Praise, are you able to reach back to some of your connects? And
you say, well, Cuba, God bless him, he made his transition.
Right.
Raheem from GQ, Emmanuel LeBlanc, he's got the CD and things of that nature. What I'm learning, you have the artist people, and then you have the business people. And what I'm also learning, in this present day and time, a lot of the industry folks are not going to mess with you until you have a major following.
Absolutely.
When you've done all of the work, and you've done all the marketing,
right?
Then they want to come and say, hey, I know you've been making 100% of all your money, but now you can make 10% of all your money. Just let us come in and, we can do other things. Oh, by the way, we want to, we want your merchandising. We want, these things called 360 deals.
360 deal.
It's like, well, shoot, if I have 50,000 folks that are following me,
why do I need you?
Exactly. And if you're building from from the grassroots, which we have learned it does work. It does work. It's just a matter of being taking the time to make it happen. My stuff is slow, but it's working.
Right.
That's why I'm here.
Right. Absolutely.
So yeah,
And that brings another point.
Yes.
You did this. When did you do this project?
I did this in 2016.
2016. And sometimes people get caught up in trying to release. There's a balance. There's some people that may get caught up because they think that to stay relevant, I got to do something every year. But I guess again, it depends on what works best for you.
Right.
But maximize the product that you have, and don't stress about really trying to hurry up and get stuff out to stay relevant.
Well, yes, and I understand that. Now, a friend of mine who actually he actually mixed the project with me. He was like, man, to stay relevant, maybe even though you did a whole CD, just release. And I'm like, that's cool, but when I look at the numbers, it's not cost effective.
So it depends on ultimately your strategy. What is your end goal?
Yes. See, me, I come up in the time of having CDs. So when I'm making music, I'm not just making one song. I'm going to at least have 10, 12 songs. And the other thing is, for me, when I'm making music, I'm not making music as an individual. I am just a vessel that Yahweh is using. So all of my music, I like to believe is inspired by Yahweh.
Right.
You understand? I don't want to make that happen.
Okay.
Without him.
All right, I tell you, this interview is one of those times where I wish I had a 2-hour show, because we could easily go so much longer.
Girl, I like to talk too.
Because well, that's a good thing. It makes my job easier. But I mean, there's so much to cover. But we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and then we gotta come back and hear you do at least one song before we, tie up the interview. So we're gonna take a quick break, and the next voice and face you see will be Harvey.
Oh, yeah. My life is a gift from you, blessed from heaven, that's for sure. So every day I live, give thanks to you. Oh, I haven't been perfect, and that's okay. And you still show love my way, yeah. Please don't leave me, stay, 'cause I know the sun doesn't shine, the rain doesn't fall, and there wouldn't be a twinkle, twinkle, little star. And just like we have winter, spring, and summer, fall, I can always count on you, because you never let me down. You've always been around for me, and my trust for you will never leave. It will never leave, because you know my destiny. So I believe. Every day my faith gets stronger, knowing you're there, I hang on a little longer.
Something like this. I know I don't understand everything about you, but there is one thing I know that holds true. Life gets confusing sometimes, and I can't always see my way. But in spite of it all, I wanna say thank you.
In spite of it all, I wanna say I wanna do things my own way because I like to. But in that approach I take, I forget you. So many choices I made are unworthy of your love. But in spite of it all, you still love me. And that's why I wanna say thank you. You brought me through all the things I went through when I wasn't good to myself. Every single time that I prayed when I needed your help. All the hurt and the pain that I brought forth in my life. And that's why I wanna say and that's why I need to say, I wanna say. Although life at times has possessed me, please teach me your word in your way that will keep me. I know I've got a long way to go, but I'm learning to live in your word. And that's why I wanna say and that's why I need to say, I wanna say. All the things I went through when I wasn't good to myself. Every single time that I prayed when I needed your help. All the hurt and the pain that I brought forth in my life. That's why I wanna say, and that's why I need to say, I wanna say, and that's why I need to say, I wanna say, and that's why I need to say, I wanna say, oh, I wanna say, oh, I wanna say thank you. Oh, I wanna say, oh, I wanna say thank you. That's why I need to say, I wanna say. That's why I say, I wanna say thank you.
I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. I love that. The message, powerful message. Definitely need to hear that right now. So we're running out of time, but I want to make sure, because there's so much about you that we hadn't really had a chance to talk about because we got caught up, and that's okay. But what I wanted, one of the things I want to ask. So you have an Emmy, and you've worked with a lot of different artists, industry legends. You're an actor. You've co-produced all of these things. So with someone with such a diverse background and had so much experience, what would be one big piece of advice that you would give, like a young artist that's watching, or just anyone in general watching that is looking for some type of guidance, inspiration, something that they can think back on or think to your message to keep them going?
The first thing I want to say is, do not be afraid to walk through the door of opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's interesting because opportunity is what it says is opportunity. When you get blessed, it's opportunity meeting preparedness. So you never know when the opportunity is coming. So always study your craft, focus on your craft, and when that opportunity comes through, just walk through the door. Even you know, when I first did my first movie, I've never did a movie before, and somebody called and said, "Hey, we need a drummer that looks like a bodyguard."
Oh gosh!
And that's the movie Begin Again.
Right.
I'm in the movie Begin Again with Mark Ruffalo, CeeLo Green, Keira Knightley, and they just said, "Can you do it?" I've never did it before. I was like, "Sure, let's go."
Right. The rest will work itself out.
Listen, the only thing that keeps us from being successful is in our minds. The things that's in our minds.
Absolutely. That's excellent advice. So if people want to stay connected, how can they stay connected, and tell us of any upcoming performances that you have?
Okay, so with my R&B band, we play at this place called Tortoria 632 in Purchase, New York, every Thursday. That's number one. You can reach me on Facebook, Harvey Mars, or you can find Harvey Mars in the House of Praise, or Tough Stuff Productions, TUFF Productions. You'll find all our information there. You can buy a CD on CD Baby. You can go on iTunes, Apple Music, and just love me, love yourself. Just love everybody. God, I love you. I'm just saying.
And you got to come back next time.
Yes.
You got to come back to town, and we got to finish. I wouldn't even say finish, but let's continue our conversation, because I really enjoyed our conversation.
Thank you. Next time I come back, I'm gonna have some more stuff for you.
Oh, great!
Yeah,
I look forward to it.
And Miss Sheba Jordan is going to be joining us.
Sheba, that's right. Sheba, you gonna come back and perform?
Yes.
All right.
She's gonna be singing "Show Me the Way."
All right. Shout out to Sheba. She's behind the scenes right now. But there's nothing about her in the background. She'll definitely be up here and join us next time. Yes. All right, so I want to thank you guys for watching. We have a new sound engineer. What is your name? Deezy. Thank you, Deezy. I appreciate it. Deezy, sound engineers to the stars.
Yes.
Thank you guys for watching Indie Voice. Thank you so much, Harvey. And again, you have an open invitation when you're in town. Please just give me a heads up and let me know.
You got it, baby.
And we'll make it happen.
Yes, we're going to make it happen.
We will make it happen. You guys, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you come back and join us on Saturdays at 5 o'clock. Right here, same time, same place, same bat channel. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate you. Thank you, WLVS.
Oh, yeah. My life is a gift from you, blessed from heaven, that's for sure. So every day I live, give thanks to you. Oh, I haven't been perfect, and that's okay. And you still show love my way, yeah. Please don't leave me, stay.